I missed some of what you guys were saying during the game because we had some sound issues. It was a pretty good game today, was it not?
It was.
For a Community Shield. And, you know, I know you're probably talking about Liverpool a lot, but kudos to Crystal Palace. What a good, solid side.
Yep.
We said that already.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm just repeating it. I think if there's not more evidence that you have to back your manager, if Eze goes, if Wharton goes, if Mark Gay goes, what's that saying to Oliver Glasner? Because what he's done in his period here on a wafer-thin budget is quite incredible. I mean, that front three, if you've got some solidity behind you and a good back three, good wing backs, what Sarr and Eze and Mateta can bring is, and I said in the commentary, if they don't sell those players, they're going to be a threat. They're not going to win the league, don't get me wrong, but they're going to be a threat to every team in the Premier League, home and away.
Of course, and on top of it, they will have the confidence for that. And they know, now they know that they can beat Manchester City or draw against Manchester City, or beat Manchester City, or draw against Liverpool and beat on penalties. It's going to bring a lot of confidence. It's going to be very hard to play Crystal Palace this season.
But what did you think, and I was saying that again, what did you think, one of the things during the game for me, the small things, was where Liverpool are going to have to really work on with the new players. You guys have talked about it. Stevie, defender, Nadem defender, Frank defender. What about this sort of partnership today?
I think it's tough to read today in some ways, because when the season starts, we'll probably see Gravenberch in there. We'll probably see McAllister be there in the midfield. And all of a sudden, you see more familiar faces who did them so well last season. Because I think the talk about how Frimpong's going to fit in, Kirkes and so on, that type of stuff might take time in terms of the attack. But Liverpool being solid through the middle is going to be a big deal, because as we saw with that second goal today, all of a sudden, why are Liverpool giving up so many big chances, especially in transition? Well, maybe it's because it's not the personnel that he wants to pick for the majority of the games that they'll play this season. So it's tough, because I don't want to overreact to it.
Look, in the middle of the park, you have Sobozai and George today. It will be likely McAllister and Gravenberch.
Yeah.
So it's going to be already different.
I was more. Oh yeah, the midfield's going to change. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And Szoboszlai wasn't great today. He scored a great penalty.
Yeah.
He wasn't great.
No,
he could be the guy to miss out. I mean, he's the captain of Hungary.
Yes.
He was a big sign. He could be the guy, and probably is going to be the guy to miss out. Gravenberch, McAllister, Wirtz. What was interesting to me, and it's a big step up for Bournemouth, and he's a very good player, Kirkes, and I know Stevie really likes him. Was in the first half there was 2 or 3 easy long diagonals that they got out to Munoz, and he, to my memory, he tucked so far in that it was such an easy ball to play. And then you take the second, the equaliser, he was the opposite. And I know it wasn't really his fault because the ball got won back and it wasn't a foul. But he was away out on the left, and then Van Dijk steps up. So it was kind of, for Arne Slot, it was kind of some bad decisions today. Go home, watch the video, go right. That's what we need to work on if we're going to be better. Steve
was mentioning the fact that when you are physically not at 100%, you maybe turned up like, I don't know, 1/10 of a second too late. It's what happened on Van Dijk. It can happen on Kirkes. I think those players are not ready physically, and it's why maybe they were sometimes short in action.
Yeah, but what I didn't get with Van Dijk, and you see it, and Stevie, I heard Stevie say, look, you're not going to see this too often from Van Dijk.
Yes.
But it was interesting how when that ball broke, his first thought, I think, was to go to Mateta. And, as a defender, you'd be looking at him to your side going, right, where's the danger? It's not really. And once he stepped out there was a huge space, which Palace took brilliantly. I mean, kudos to them. But I think for Liverpool, obviously they're favourites for this season. And I'm not reading it just in today. But
are you sure?
Maybe it's not going to be quite as simplistic as we thought.
Of course not.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And I think that's the thing. When the signings were coming in, and also this sort of like Isaac cloud as well.
Yeah.
You can see how on paper they're going to have a really good-looking team, because we're looking at, say, how Kirkes was for Bournemouth, looking at how Frimpong was for Leverkusen. But now, as you've said, you're going to put that into this Liverpool side. And Van Dijk, for the last 5 years or so, has had Robertson or Tsimikas to the side of him. He knows exactly what they're going to do. On the other side, whether it's Conor Bradley for the last 2 years or Alexander-Arnold, you know exactly what it's going to be like. And I think the test today was coming against the Palace side. You know exactly what everyone's going to do, because it's the same team that played the majority of last season. And those relationships, as you've mentioned, that's what's going to define it,
What do you think
of
Ekitike? I know he had his struggles in France. He's a young player, struggled in France. He really gained his confidence when he went to Eintracht Frankfurt, didn't he? And we saw glimpses of that today. It wasn't just his goal, but I
The
was
link-up
really-
play.
Huh?
The link-up play was
Yeah,
alright,
when he
wasn't it?
When the ball was coming up and you got a big centre half behind you and he's flicking it around the corner. He did that 3 or 4 times. I was like, wow, I didn't think you had that in your game, you know?
No, I was very impressed,
Yeah.
especially the first half. And when, in fact, we were saying that when he left, when he was substituted, Nathan was mentioning to me that the game was different for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a reason why. Yeah, I got the shirt. Yeah, I know. So I have to say good things. No, but it's true that he had a very good first game. And oh my God.
Hold on. Have you been kissing backside when I've not been here?
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't
he
need
has.
to.
What's going on?
I don't need to.
He
Or did he
has.
run over and go, Alexis, did he run over and go, Frank Leboeuf, World Cup winner, have my
He
shirt?
absolutely
Please
did.
have my shirt.
He absolutely did, and he got a shirt.